From Caracas, Venezuela, my name is Regan Devines for teleSUR English. We begin in London, where Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks founder, and the investigation of rape charges against him are dropped by Sweden. Speaking from the balcony of the Ecuadorian embassy in London, Assange called it an important victory for him and human rights. He also declared that his detention in prison under house arrest and within the walls of the embassy, which all total about 7 years without charge, will not go forgotten.
But let us understand, while today was an important victory and an important vindication, the road is far from over. The war, the proper war, is just commencing. The UK has said it will arrest me regardless.
Assange is referring to the police in the UK who say they will arrest him given the opportunity for failing to surrender to a court over the rape allegations. The Ecuadorian government, however, has said they welcomed the decision to drop charges, but added that Assange's interview with Swedish prosecutors took over 4 years to arrange. Foreign Affairs Minister Guillaume Long says their focus now will be to arrange a safe passage for Assange to Ecuador.
Ecuador regrets that the Swedish prosecutor delayed more than 4 years in carrying out this interview. This unnecessary delay was despite the repeated insistence from the Ecuador government ever since the granting of asylum in 2012 that this interview was not only possible, but that Ecuador would facilitate its carrying out in our embassy.
Street protests and ensuing violence continue in Venezuela. Over the past week, opposition protesters have blocked roads, damaged public and private property, and are promising to remain in the streets until the ouster of elected President Nicolas Maduro. The Bolivarian National Guard have created barricades during protest action to help prevent damage to life and property. Meanwhile, President Maduro has outlined the results of what he calls an economic war. He also listed what his government will do in the short term about it. Firstly, only 5% of the Venezuelan population produces consumer goods. Maduro hopes to address this and reduce the country's dependence on oil and gas. Secondly, the violence in the streets generated by the opposition coalition has resulted in millions in damages thus far. The government will focus on ensuring that food is delivered to those in need, which has been a challenge when protests have blocked roads with debris and fire. Thirdly, President Maduro has also made an important announcement on a new complementary currency system called DCOM, which he says will be revealed on May 23rd. He says the system will end the problematic black market system here. He promises it will combat this economic war and result in the timely access to goods, services, food, medicine, and other essentials. Meanwhile, thousands of Brazilians took to the streets of Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, and other cities on Thursday to call for the ousting of President Michel Temer. This came after the Supreme Court authorized an investigation of the leader into allegations that he condoned bribery of a potential witness in a major corruption probe. Temer has refused to resign. 5 Palestinians were injured earlier this Friday in clashes with Israeli security forces near the eastern border of the Gaza Strip. Thousands of Palestinians have been protesting in support of prisoners on hunger strike in Israel. The hunger strike began on April 17th to protest against their conditions in Israeli jails. The ancient artifacts of the Aztecs' lost city of Tenochtitlan have gone on display in Mexico City like never before, in full color. The exhibition will be on show at Mexico City's iconic Templo Mayor, which is the site of the last remaining temple of the mighty Aztec city that was razed by Spanish colonizers. More on these and other stories on our website, telesurtv.net/English. For teleSUR English, I'm Regan Devines.